This will be my first part of my miracle series. I'll be covering well-evidenced miracles. Today we'll be covering the miraculous story of Dwayne Miller. Dwayne Miller was a preacher that loved what he did. But one day he woke up with the flu. The flu attacked his vocal cords and damaged the nerves. This caused him to lose his voice, and it turned it into a raspy whisper. For over 3 years, he visited over 25 doctors. One of the doctors he saw, a world-leading throat specialist from the Swiss Symposium, said there was a 0% chance for the nerves to be recovered, and it was impossible to take out the scar tissue. He no longer preached, and he gave up his job. He went to a government job and also lost that job because he couldn't testify in court. After about 3 years of his lost voice, his hometown church just wanted to hear him preach. His church kept asking him to preach, and he finally said yes. They gave him a special microphone and amplified his voice so the congregation could hear him. This audio was recorded. I want to play it for you guys. Pay attention to the context. It's about healing.
Let me say to you that I believe God still heals. That hasn't ended. That is not over. Now you have to be careful on how you do this, because there are folks who carry things to an excess and it becomes a show. And God has never intended that be what it is. God heals in his sovereign will.
You can really tell how damaged his voice is, and it's been like that for the past 3 years. Now, pay attention to his voice, the crowd's reaction, and especially his reaction.
I have had, and you have had in times past, pit experiences. We've all had times when our life seemed to be in a pit, in a grave. And we didn't have an answer for the pit we find ourselves in. And I don't understand this right now. I'm a bit overwhelmed at the moment.
You can hear that drastic change when he says in a pit. He testified that at that moment he felt something in his throat, and it was like a breath of fresh air for the first time in 3 years, and it didn't hurt anymore. He went to the doctor the next day, and the doctor said that it was inexplicable. He got his throat scans, and something crazy happened. The scans showed that the scar tissue had disappeared. The doctor said, even if I could explain how your voice came back, it's impossible to explain how the scar tissue disappeared. He is now a pastor again, and he has a radio show where he talks every single day. Praise the triune God.